Welcome to Honest Beers. My name is Leggy, and as always, I'm joined by Walley. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. It's a nice, fresh Melbourne morning.
Very fresh.
Top of the world. We're nearly through the bye rounds of footy, which has just been doing my head in. So I'm good, mate. And the Hawks got a bye this weekend, Leggy.
They do. Well, it's Tuesday morning. We should say we did record our Honest Footy review yesterday where we talked about that, but it hasn't gone live. Some kind of malfunction.
Technical difficulty, and I'll put my hand up. It's on me, but that's okay.
This is what happens when you do stuff online.
This is why we got to be back in the studio. This is the issue. Yeah, online. That's right. You can't trust the cloud.
No, you can't
Simon,
trust. Can't trust it.
Don't trust it.
Look, that could still be pulled from the ashes.
It could be. Well, it could be. I'm working on it, but
maybe stay tuned for that.
Absolutely, mate. But no, it's good
to be back in the studio.
It is always good to be back in the studio. It's been a good weekend. It's been a good start of the week. As I said, I am genuinely looking forward to a neutral weekend of footy because we love footy, right? And I just love the fact that you can go into a round. There's not a huge amount of games that you get overly excited about.
Yeah.
But there is a couple. My Giants against your Suns.
Yes,
that's huge. That's a huge one. The expansion cup. And we've both got a dog in the race this year.
Absolutely.
So looking forward to that. But mate, how are you?
I'm going well. Before I go into how I'm going, I just want to say at one point, I'm really intrigued on if you say what are we looking forward to AFL wise. I'm looking forward to seeing on Thursday night what that surface looks like because there were 2 games at Optus Stadium last week, which is very rare. Then there's a State of Origin game tomorrow night on Wednesday, and then there's that game. I reckon that surface could be, and there's also a little thing like 50 mils of rain in Perth this week. So I think Optus Stadium on Thursday night could be absolutely chopped up, and it might make things really tough from a betting perspective. So that's just one thing to look out for. But I'm going well.
It's a nightmare.
I'm on day 17 of sobriety, so we should probably talk a little bit about that because I wanted to say,
please do.
I wanted to bring it up.
Not just sobriety, completely dry.
Yeah, completely dry, nothing at all. I nearly gave in on Saturday.
Yeah.
So my biggest, the thing that I struggle the most with is not having an option. Like I actually don't miss, believe it or not, I don't miss going to the pub and having 15 beers and waking up rat shit the next day. I don't miss that at all. Like I'm sure it'll happen again, but I don't miss it for now, right?
Yeah.
What I miss is the option to say it's 4 o'clock on a Saturday, which is the time that it was when I nearly gave in. And I just want to have a couple of beers, watching the footy and a cozy fireplace type vibe.
Sunday Arvo Vino.
Sunday Arvo, all of that.
Watching the 320 game. Put something in the oven.
It doesn't get any better. I nearly did on Saturday. Thankfully, I was my partner managed to be the strong one in the relationship as usual.
Pulled you through it.
And pulled me through it. But it's look, there's 2 weeks to go. I should be fine, but I'm pretty fucking over it.
Do what we did last year. You do it in June, mate. I think every year I've done it. I don't think I've ever done it.
We did May last year.
We did May last year. The year before that, I did the June. So you do it early, and then you can walk around all smug in July while all these other clowns are not drinking.
100%.
Because I tell you what, people go, "Oh, it's good. It's in the minute." No. Summer easier to not drink. Yeah. Okay, don't get me wrong. Having the beers and that are fine, but summer like up and about, you feel you got energy. Winter
July,
is
you fucking need
July and August is when you are getting into the depths of winter.
That's my thing. This is why I reckon I struggle. Is I'm like struggling for things to do because you're not wanting to go outdoors or do anything like that. So when you're inside and you're like you want to drink, so
you're not exactly going to go down to the pub. In summer, you could go to the pub with mates, have a couple of soda waters, the sun's out, you're laughing. And that winter's different. It's an intimate setting. You can't just go and have a Ribena in a wine glass. Like it doesn't work like that. So, mate, you're doing well. You're nearly through. The other good thing for us is Saints Hawks play as you come out of it. So we're going to absolutely launch. I know you said I don't want to just go and have 15 beers at the pub. The good news is you won't. Yeah. You can have 20 at the footy. So it's going to be.
Well, that's July 5. I mean, I probably will by then.
No, you'll be rolling.
Well, I actually worked this out. So July 1 is a Tuesday. So that's 2 weeks today. Then obviously July 2 is a Wednesday. Yep. So I reckon I'll wait until Thursday. I reckon I'll get to the 3rd because I'm like, I don't really need to drink on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And Thursday,
Tuesday steak night.
There are plenty at the Mount Erica, the pub of choice.
That is steak night.
That is steak night. Yeah,
so
that could happen.
Steak and Pinot.
That's true.
Do you know what you could do? Do you know what would be nice? A pint and then a glass of Pinot with your steak.
That's what I normally do.
And then it's just perfect.
That's what I normally just two. Go in there. You have to
done.
because you have to start with beer no matter what's happening.
Absolutely, you have to have a pint of beer.
Yeah.
And then you have your Pinot with your steak. You're full. You go home. You're happy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That could be a nice way to start. You don't want to come in absolutely cold to like a sesh, but Thursday sounds like it could be your go.
My other update, knitting.
Knitting.
So Friday night I took to the couch and got my yarn out and
I've
my knitting needles. Look, I haven't progressed too far. I think my yarn might not be big enough.
No, your yarn's fine.
Is what I'm researching.
No. I went. I can send you the details of the establishment that sold it to me.
Was it like Lincraft or something?
No, mate. No. This is a proper yarn store.
Okay.
In the inner eastern suburbs of, I believe it's Canterbury. Like I went to I went and just found a yarn store.
Okay.
And like, how are the 4.5 knitting needles working for you?
Look, I think it's probably more user error than the nails. So I got
because I did say, she asked me, and
I think you need a bit thicker.
Yeah, she did. She goes, look,
what
you're telling me about him, he might be a 5.5 guy, but this yarn is better from a 4 to 5. So 4.5 is what you'd start.
Well, yeah. So I did look online and I was watching people with thicker knitting needles and thicker yarn, and I'm thinking to myself, I just don't know if
no, that's fine. I saw it will do 2 meters of scarf.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to get anywhere.
I don't reckon. Yeah, but look, the casting off is actually quite hard. It's the hardest thing is starting. That's the toughest part.
It's always the way.
And then I got into a little bit of a rhythm on there.
The old ladies on the bus make it look super easy.
Well, do you know what happened? I got into a little bit of a rhythm, and then the Hawks game started to get interesting. And then it's pretty hard to do. I don't know how people.
Best shit game of the year.
I don't know how people do that. Whether like at the cricket, it's easier because you can kind of just look up every now. Oh, Hazelwood's running
because they're not interested in the footy. That interested in the footy.
Defended, blocked, no run. Back down to it. I'm like.
I think that there is a world of just they've been going forever and they don't need to, all their teams know. Like if you go for, let's say you go for, I don't know, Richmond through this period, and it's probably a bad example this year because they've been quite exciting. Let's say you go for Richmond or West Coast through this period. It'd be easy to sit there and knit through some of it.
Yeah.
But if it's all like Hawthorn Adelaide, you're probably going to struggle. Although it did its best. We just need a roof, Simon. That's a whole other thing. But anyway,
so that's the update. I'm going to keep going. I've earmarked tomorrow night. I've got no plans. I've earmarked that as a chance to make some progress, hopefully. And we'll just see how we go. It's tough though. Not going to lie. I was going to say that me drinking on Saturday was almost derived from the knit. The knitting was brought about because I was not drinking, but I actually feel like the knitting almost caused me to drink.
There you go. Well,
because it was so frustrating. So anyway, that's the update. But I've actually got we'll share some videos. There's some videos of me that
we will definitely be sharing those videos.
Where I'm complaining about the size of the yarn.
Can I just as a little side note, I'm
going
to run an experiment. Yeah, take your jacket off, Tom. So, your lovely partner was good enough to send through some videos of you knitting so I could get an update. Also sent me the bag that the knitting was in like 5 days after I going, this is going well.
Yeah.
But off the back of that now, you and her had a debate around how you season your steaks pre and post.
Yes.
So you believe you season with salt and pepper pre. Ash goes, you season with salt and then pepper after because you don't want the pepper to burn and all of that. So I tried her method, but I did it with a whole I feel it roll in the Weber. You're not getting the same.
Yep.
You're not slow cooking it, but in a way, it's not a slow cook, but it's definitely a non-contact cook.
Yeah.
And then a reverse sear. So what I'm going to do this week, and I just want to say this because there's a lot coming out of your household at the moment. There's a lot going on. What I'm going to do this week, so anybody that's wondering on this, I'm going to run the experiment. I'm doing it on Thursday night. Jack and I have boys' night.
Yep.
We've got back-to-back boys' nights this week.
Is he aware of the context?
He's just he knows he's getting steak and he's wrapped. Okay. Steak's his favourite. Yep. So he knows he's getting steak, and that's all that matters. He does not care about the experiment. I wish he did. He doesn't.
Yep.
But I'm going to do 2 steaks, cut the same pan.
Yep.
One salted, one salt and peppered,
Mm-hmm.
and then the pepper added after. And
Yep.
then I'm going to eat them bite after bite. And I will be able to come on this show next week and tell you, is there a difference?
Good.
And we will put this to bed.
Well, because I like the pepper on there because I will like that sort of more charred kind of vibe, which has been challenged in
So
in the
this is
household.
the thing, is I like a pepper sauce on the side. I don't crave for the charred pepper, but I've always just salt, pepper, oil.
Yep.
And, you know, I oil my steak, not the pan.
Yep.
And so the salt and the pepper, it all works in nicely together. So we're gonna know next week.
Yeah,
the
I can't wait for
definitive
this.
way
Can you get
of seasoning your steak.
Get Jack to film it.
Oh, Jack's videos.
I don't know. I think he would know. Get in there.
Mate, you should see. He's got. Speaking of that, he has a bank of videos.
Yeah. Oh no, I've seen these.
Yeah, he wants me
to be a
to create a
YouTuber or a
YouTube
streamer.
page, and he goes, "Dad, have I got any followers yet?" And I'm like, And Kylie's like, "You're gonna have to set him up a fucking YouTube page, mate, because he keeps asking and all of this, and he's asking his friends to follow it and all this." And I'm like,
his friends are probably going, mate, there's no page.
"There's no page."
Yeah, I can't follow anything.
Yeah,
but no, that's good. I'm looking forward to that update.
But that'll be next week, so stay tuned for that.
Simon's Choice.
Yes.
You've got it on this week. And after Simon's Choice, I'm just going to tease it. We've got probably one of our best honest lists that we've
Oh,
ever
it's outstanding.
done.
I love this. I'm really excited about the list. And I don't care if people got a problem with it.
I think people are going to have a problem with it.
I don't give a shit.
People are going to have a problem with it.
I don't care. And I don't think our audience will have much
No.
of a problem with it.
No, it's when it gets to social and it gets clipped
Yeah.
up. That's where you open up a can of worms.
It is
But,
what it is.
So Simon's Choice, what have you got?
So last week into the weekend saw the World Test Championship.
Yes.
Or just into the weekend. The World Test Championship, but of course the combination of 2 years of Test cricket. It's a bit messy.
So messy.
Concepts good, execution horrible.
Yep.
But essentially the idea
Like
is
it's playing
that
a Test Championship after they've all been to the IPL and no one's been playing Test cricket.
Exactly. They got a ladder. There's a ladder of 2 years of Test cricket and the top two teams on it. But teams like South Africa played a lot less games than others and had easy opposition. You had teams like England.
To the credit though, they won it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they came and rocked up and got smashed, you'd be like, why couldn't we get them all,
exactly.
like in
But
India
they
or
won it.
something? But, you know.
So Australia, it's been like Australia's won it, New Zealand's won it, England and India have been it. It's been, we've had, or I think it was, anyway. So you've had top teams around this thing, but there's things like you can miss because of a slow over rate, you lose points. It's all a bit stupid.
Yeah.
So the product itself, the idea of it could be great, but the product itself is not quite there. However, South Africa beat Australia. So it gave me the thinking, we are coming in to an Ashes series and we do talk a lot of footy. So I wanted to do a Simon's Choice themed cricket one.
Good.
And there's three components to this. Okay. There's a question about you and cricket.
Yep.
There's a question around players.
Yep.
The Australian cricket team. And then there is a round around the actual Ashes that's coming up. And I thought this was a good way of doing it. Bit of Simon's Choice. So I'm going to give the first one. The first one is it's purely from your perspective.
Yep.
And I'm sort of, when I did a live stream for this and we had a whole heap of things, and this was one of the things that didn't make its way onto the stream. Let me tell you something, Leggy. Do a live stream for one session, not for a whole day's play. It was so much better and faster and there was energy.
You know you've got... Yeah,
it was great.
The 2 hour period, yeah.
And you can still go to the pub afterwards and watch the rest of it.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. Your own career. Would you rather it be a lot of Sheffield Shield runs, you're a great first-class cricketer, you get to play a test and you ton up, so your name goes up on the board, don't care, it could be any ground you want, could be the G, could be Lords, wherever. But that's it. You go back to Shield. It's just you were filling in that's it. So you'll be a good Shield cricketer, but you will always be a Centurion test player.
Yep.
But you probably only got a couple of tests on your thing. A la Brad Hodge.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the option. Yeah, that's the,
or you could be a white ball gun who stars in the BBL and the Big Bash, never plays a test though. The remuneration that comes with that is obviously a lot more. So you could be a white ball cricket, short form player, a lot of excitement and the fun and the fireworks, get remunerated really well.
Yep.
Or you could be a great red ball cricketer, longer form of the game, mostly in domestic, but you have made a ton, obviously you'd be remunerated okay, but nowhere near the same level. What are you doing?
Wally, you know me. I'm a purist.
You are a purist.
I'm a purist, especially with cricket. So I would take the first option. I
Wow.
would take the test. I know. Look, I'd like to think that maybe I could find remuneration elsewhere, whether it's like because you can still play Sheffield Shield maybe and have a career. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if that works anymore in terms of payments. But the thought of having my name up on the board at the MCG, making a Boxing Day test ton on my home deck, that's the stuff of legend. That lives on forever. No one's going to care about some, shitty quick fire 20s or 30s in the BBL or anything like that. No one cares. It's the test ton for mine. That's why you play cricket. You play cricket to wear the baggy green, as an Australian that is. You play cricket to wear the baggy green, and if you do it successfully and make a ton, even if it's only for a couple of tests, a la Brad Hodge, I'd take it. Tough one though, because I'm sure my partner and other people around me would probably be like, we wouldn't mind you making a little bit more money.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's the whole thing. I like to think that I would always go for the test ton. Where would you want your name? Would you want it on the MCG or Lords on the board?
Oh, I mean, Lords is a home in cricket, but I think the MCG, given this is where we're all from.
And it means you're playing on Boxing Day.
It means I'm playing on Boxing Day. It means that when I go to the footy or when I can go around and have a look at it, it's always there. It's always there. So I think it's got to be the MCG, but it's a tough one because Lords is the home of cricket.
I genuinely.
I'd also love to walk there through the long room at Lords and through.
I know, but I think that putting it the MCG, like if cricket was the first thing in your life, I understand Lords.
Yep.
But this would be a great question to ask. And it's asking, I should have asked Cal. I'm going to text Cal and ask him that sort of thing. I'm going to go to some of our contacts in cricket. I'm going to just ask that from my own personal thing. I'll share that next week. But would you rather, if you could have your name up on your home deck, you only have 1 ton on the board, would you rather it be your home grounds or would you rather it be Lords?
I reckon a lot of them would say home.
And that's my point. Yeah. So it is a hard question, but even the professional cricketers would be siding with you on this one.
Yeah,
all right.
100%.
Speaking of professional cricketers, we have a big problem, Australia, and at the moment it is around our batting because our bowling has been very good.
Been propping us up.
Scotty Boland can't get in the team.
Yep.
They restricted Africa early. Obviously, they got to run on late. That's okay. The bowlers can't do it every time. South Africa. Sorry, I'm just trying to save time by taking out a word.
The continent of Africa playing cricket.
No, well, mate, let me tell you.
Zimbabwe?
Sorry, Zimbabwe there, but they're not playing Test, are they at the moment?
No,
they are, but they're not. They're
South
not
Africa played them in there.
But Zimbabwe's not in the Test Championship. No, they're not in the 9.
No,
they've been pushed out.
Yeah,
they used to be.
Oh, Heath Streak.
Yeah, the Flowers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so our issue is in our batting. So I'm going to give you 4 players that are being discussed, and you are going to tell me who is opening.
Okay.
With Uzi.
Yep.
I'm just leaving Usman in there.
Yeah, you have
and
to.
who's batting at 3?
Usman gets to the Ashes, so
100%.
Yeah, great.
So who opens, who bats at 3, and I want to know why.
Yep.
All right. So you know the 4 I'm going to say.
List them.
We're going to go with Marnus.
Yep.
Constas.
Yep.
We're going to go with Inglis.
Oh,
hang on.
Yeah, keep going.
What was that reaction?
Oh, I don't know. I was intrigued. Just keep going. And is there one more?
And Green.
So this is to open.
Open and 3.
Controversially, I'm keeping Marnus at 3. I know you don't like that. I go with Inglis to open.
See, that's the thing. I want Inglis in the team.
I'm not sure I like Constas.
You don't like Cam Green.
I don't like Cam Green. I mean, why do we need
You would have loved Kane Corns' overrated list when Cam Green was on it, didn't you?
It was the only thing I agreed.
There was one other, but you're right. There was 2 things on there.
Yeah, that was definitely there was another one that I can't remember what it was, but I think it might have been the NBA dunk comp, but everyone knows that's kind of
that's not
now,
rated.
But also, riddle me this. I get it when everyone had a go at me about Cam Green and said he needs to be in because he's the only all-rounder, but we've got a better all-rounder. So why do we need 2 all-rounders when we've got Bo Webster?
The theory was he's been making, because he can't bowl at the moment anyway, right? So he's been making enough runs. They just love him, mate. I actually would have Constas opening and Inglis at 3.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of Marnus hate. I just think Marnus, should I say deserves it? I still think it's going to be massive against the West Indies for him. That's where it's really, because he'll get to the West Indies, and that's where he's going to have to
make runs, isn't he?
Yeah, He has been proven at number 3. Like the guy averaged like 50 for about 18 months, 2 years.
I know,
like,
but we get it's
level.
how long, and
Yeah.
I think that with some Australian cricketers, you get longer than you did.
Yeah. If they're not going to completely rip the team apart, I'm keeping him before I'm keeping Cam Green at 3, especially given we have Bo Webster. So I actually don't mind.
And then open with Inglis.
Inglis, Khawaja, Marnus, Smith, Head, Webster, Carey. That's my 7.
There you go.
Based on who I can choose between. Although to be fair, I don't actually know a lot of what's out there.
Yeah, well, that's it. I reckon I've given you the 4, and
Yeah.
I don't think there's much outside of that we can trust going into an Ashes series.
Campbell, can I just say
the Harris thing's not going to. We can't just go back to that.
Can I just say who I would like, but they won't do it because he's too young and he probably hasn't done enough. But there is a Victorian, who I think maybe from Campbell Magpies. I'm not sure which club he's from, but Campbell Kellaway.
Yeah,
he's been making a shitload of runs for Victoria at 4, left-hander, great technique. He's the kind of player. I mean, they fucking took a risk on Constas. Like he just came from the clouds and got selected.
Can you take 2 of those sort of players?
Sweeney came from the clouds.
Can you take 2 of those players?
You probably can't. I'm not saying.
See, because Inglis has played a lot of cricket.
Yeah,
We're not talking about a guy that is. Just
I'm not saying Kellaway now. I'm just saying in like a couple of years he could be the one.
Duncan Andrew Campbell.
Yes.
There you go, little 90s footy for you there. The Callaways played for Richmond, number 2 and number 30.
Oh, you tested me. Yeah, I remember 2.
36? 36. I was 30 something.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe 32, 35.
32 was Greg Tivendale. Well, they were the same.
Tivers.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I don't know. That's what people called him. Anyway, remember Dean Polo, the shirt?
Of course I remember Dean Polo. Played for the Saints.
Number 14. Anyway, we can sit and talk about Richmond 1990s.
Well, Dean Polo debuted on Dreamtime and had like 28.
Yeah, that's why I remember it. It's one of the best debuts of all time. All right. Last part of Simon's choice is the Ashes itself. It's coming to the shores. We will be at multiple venues. We know that. We don't know exactly what it looks like now. All we know is that we're going to be attending. Now, my question to you is, I'm going to give you a quick description of each venue and what you get to do, how you get to partake in it, and then you're going to rank them. I'm not going to do blind ranking because there's no blind ranking. You know the 5.
Yeah.
So we're just going to do it. I'm going to give you all 5, and then you're going to tell me this is my order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How I want to go to them all 5, 4, 3.
So this is to go to, you say?
To go to.
Okay,
it purely doesn't matter what the result is. You're not worried about what Australia's doing. Yep. This is to go to a day's play, and it's purely your experience. We've talked enough about actual cricket. Yep. This is about the experience of going to cricket. So we'll go through them. Perth. You get up in the morning, you go to the beach, you hit it out, you freshen up, you go to the ground, you have a day out there in the sun, you're wearing short, you're wearing your boardies, probably a pair of thongs, then you go afterwards, you sit at Cottesloe and you drink jars and you look out over the water. So it's a beautiful, really summer's day, a lot of beers, bulk beers. All right, then you're up to Brisbane. It's a day-nighter this year.
Yeah, interesting.
So this is going to be simple. You are going to go and have a lot of beers at the Caxton before, watch a full day of cricket. You might be one of those outdoor boxes there where they're bringing the beers to you. You might pop down to the pool. That's available. Pick up an STI, all of that. Like you're swimming, you swim out with 3 different diseases. There is more chlorine in that than the rest of the world, or there is a lot of disease. Like you cannot have that many people just going through that pool.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I don't think everyone goes to the pool though. It's not that many, isn't it?
And how many people are pissed in that pool?
So I reckon the issue is the people that piss because they're sitting in there all day on the. They're
in
that pool for 4 hours.
That is
I'm not moving because I don't want to lose my spot.
I've said once before, I said it on like a grub show. I said it's the only way you could piss on live TV and not get caught. So you could be barreling a camera as you're taking a piss and you're not getting caught. Anyway, so that's Brisbane. And then you finish up. Where do you go? You go to the Caxton afterwards.
Yeah, of course.
So it's back-to-back, bookended by the Caxton. All right. Adelaide. So what do I need to tell you? Adelaide is not a day-nighter this year. So this is just some nice prees, just nice and early, couple of eye-openers at the cathedral. You walk down. You go to a great day's play. You finish up.
Yep.
Maybe it's a dinner at Golden Boy. Maybe we go to the Cass. The world is our oyster because we're in Adelaide.
Yep.
So there's that. Mm-hmm. Melbourne. Yeah, well, you know what Melbourne is? It's the same routine that it always is. It's bang. We meet early. We get in. It's beers all day.
It's the day after Christmas, so you're a bit rusty. You got to go again.
You got to go again. MCC into Richmond afterwards. Try and find somewhere to keep drinking and have a feed. We'll do it we did last year. and go back to your house and have Jamo and cheeseburgers on the deck. Whatever keeps you going.
Yeah.
Mate, who knew that Jamo and double cheeseburgers was a combo?
And it works.
It works.
Geez,
Try.
you were pissed.
I
You're
was
so dry. We always had. Remember when you were waiting out in front of my house trying to get an Uber for like 25 minutes, and you were just sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
So
I was cooked.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah, it's a big day.
Anyway, big day.
We all
big
were.
day,
All
big
were.
day.
Yeah.
And then the Sydney test. So you go up there,
Yep.
you go to Sydney, you'll try and get to a pub. You'll probably be able to get into one before.
Yep.
It'll be really expensive. Then you'll go.
Done Sydney before.
It'll be washed out. And then you'll go and try and go to a pub afterwards, and they'll all be shut.
Yep.
So that's your Sydney experience. Sorry, I'm taking the piss.
Woo.
All right,
All right. So
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What are you doing?
So number 5, sorry Rambo, but it's Brisbane.
It's 100% Brisbane.
Just think it's a boring city, and there isn't a lot.
So hot.
It's
too
not.
up
It's so
there.
hot and humid. So I'm going with that. I've actually never done the Brisbane test either. And
Day night, it could be good,
And I'm
though.
still putting it 5. So apologies there, but I have zero interest. Number 4 is Sydney. Now
Ooh.
I've done Sydney before. I did it 2 years ago and loved it. It was great fun.
It is fun.
I don't know if I necessarily need to do it again, but I have done Sydney. And I stayed in Sydney for quite a few days, and it was good fun. But I think that I'm putting that at a 4 because I've already done it. Number 3 is Perth. Now, I really do want to do a Perth test, especially for the reasons you outlined before, like Cottesloe, great weather. It is that little bit further to fly. So if you're only going for like 3-4 days, it's a longer way to go, but I think it's worth it. Optus Stadium, great stadium as well.
Go there, you go to Ascot. They've got a Crown Casino over there now. Which
Provided the
is
surface is fixed after this week, which hopefully it will in December, whenever it is, November. But yes, Perth is number 3. This will surprise you, but number 2 is Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Because I do it every year. I love it.
great.
I love it. And I'll
still
do it.
go?
I'm going to do it again this year. And I might even go day 2 or 3 as well. I love it. But the reason why I'm putting it number 2 is because I've never been to the Adelaide test. I've been to the Adelaide Oval. You know, the Adelaide Oval, I could safely say, is the ground that I've watched outside of Marvel, the MCG, and Waverley. That would be the next.
Yeah.
Because we've been
We've
to
watched so much
3
footy there.
gather rounds. I've also been to a few different Saints trips where they've played just in an individual game against Port or whatever. So I've been to the Adelaide Oval so much for footy. I love it. I love the city. There's so much to do, but I've never been to the test. I reckon it's going to come alive. Cal Ferguson mentioning as well that it's a day test this year does open up a lot of possibilities afterwards. They were his words. Golden Boy, the ability to go out afterwards into those cocktail bars. So I think Adelaide goes in there because I've never done it before. But we all know that Boxing Day and the Melbourne test is my favourite. But I've done it 20 times.
Yeah.
It just happens in the background. Death, taxes, and Boxing Day tests. So
I
that's
love
my
it.
5, but that was good.
Yeah, I definitely have Adelaide one myself. I can't wait.
Got to do it for the first time.
Do you know how many people have reached out to me saying, "Oh, if you're going over,
They're not going to be able to fit.
I want to come to Golden Boy this time."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, you can come to Golden Boy."
They're not going to. The amount of people that are telling me they're going. Like gather round's different because you can go to 9 different games and you can rotate around. And I know there's 5 days of cricket, but the amount of people that are telling me they're going to the Adelaide Test, I reckon day 1 might be an absolute.
Got to get your accommodation
Very
booked.
close to
Can
Christmas.
I just give it?
17th to the 21st this year.
I'm going to give a piece
Was
of
it
advice.
that last year?
I'm going to give a piece of advice here.
Mhm.
And I'll just say this, and I probably shouldn't, because you don't want it all to chew up. I just want to make sure our mates are sorted. But the thing is that if you can go onto a Expedia or Booking.com of these, you can book accommodation now that's cancelable up until like late
30
November.
days, yeah.
Yeah, even some of it's even 15. But at least till mid-November, so at least 30 days out.
Yep.
So you can book and go, okay, shit, I've got accommodation. I know what it costs. Worst case scenario, I don't have to pay anything now.
Yeah.
And you can walk away from it. Just get there. Get to the Adelaide test because it is going to be a mess.
Even if you only got a 1 day's play, but you're in the city for a few, go to Golden Boy.
I reckon
do
I
a
was
long
thinking
lunch.
about this. I think it looks like something like 3 days of it, and it's a day's play, a pub day, and then maybe another day of the split. You go in.
Bit of cricket, then
Bit of cricket, but spending all the time out the back. I just want to spend a heap of time out the back there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we'll get organised and
How
we'll be
good.
there.
Now, moving on. The honest list that we teased earlier.
Yeah.
So the reason this came about was we've been trying to look at some different news headlines and things.
It's hard though because they're just
it's hard because it's garbage at the moment. But earlier on, I was looking over news.com.au and I saw a headline that took me by surprise. I might even go and see if I can find it, but it was something. It was about Justin Bieber. And I thought, based on the headline, that he'd broken up with his wife.
Was he a Bieber text breakup. Or
I thought he'd broken up with. Here we go. Blocked, quote unquote. Bieber posts angry breakup text. So I thought, he's broken up with his wife. I think it's Haley. That's very sad. And then I clicked on the article and found out I think it's about a friend or a family member or something like that. It's actually got nothing to do with his wife, I believe. It is clickbait. Got him, yes. But what it did though is it said, I said to you, what if we did our top 5 honest list we think the definitive, the best celebrity breakups.
Not favourite.
Yeah, not favourite.
They're not necessarily our favourite. Some of them are our favourites.
Yes, we should probably say which ones are our favourites.
Yeah, some of them we've got some ones that we like, and then some we just think are the best.
So this is going to be a combined 5. It's not going to be 5 each because probably come out with 10. There'd be a lot of double up. I reckon we would, if we did 10, there'd only be 6. I reckon there might be one overlap that we didn't do.
Exactly.
And then sorry, there'd be heaps of overlap. There'd be one that we didn't do.
Now we should call out as well. We don't live in this world of celebrity gossip and breakups and that. So
no idea.
I understand that the odd person listening to this show might go,
that's
bullshit.
Yeah.
You missed this person.
Yeah,
what
we
don't care.
Joe Jonas?
They're big names because they're the only ones that we're going to know.
There'd be so many of those little ones.
There'd be so many little ones that you guys...
Some niche streamer.
Some show about housewives or a boat and they're working on it or some shit or an island where they're getting on. Like, I know there'll be that. We don't care.
Yeah, what about this musician that...
If you haven't actually done something outside of reality TV, you're not going to be on this list.
Yep. So the way we're going to handle this, I'm going to do 5, 3, and 1, and you're going to do 4 and 2.
And we both have thoughts. Let's go.
We both have thoughts.
Start us.
So number 5, it's Tiger and Elin.
Yeah.
This was I think back in 2009. This happened. Pretty bad in terms of the fallout and everything. I mean, obviously we don't condone what happened, but
no,
even the sort of how public it became. His golf suffered. His car got smashed. Elin was, it was terrible, right? Like feel for her having to put up with all this and then also be almost like a sole parent because he's traveling the world.
They seem to have come out of it okay now, though.
Yes,
which is good. So they had a happy ending, sort of. But the bottom line, this was in our world. Really, this was in the sports world.
This was the biggest story in the world for months.
Yeah, so it had to go in.
It had to go in. Just the way it played out, the footage that we all saw of it. It was.
Steve Williams got dragged into it.
He did. A lot of people got dragged into it.
Yeah,
there was some some Victorian / Australian journos that were part of the breaking of the story. This should, if there hasn't been one already, it's almost documentary worthy. This breakup.
Who plays Tiger?
No, documentary, I said.
Oh, documentary. How has there not been a pick? Yeah. A movie, sorry. Anyway, how has there not been a biopic?
Well, there's probably a lot of other things I would choose to do to talk about Tiger's career, but...
There has been there was one of him years and years ago before all this. There was it was one of those, I feel like...
Went into a lot of the dad
daytime,
stuff.
And that, but it was only okay. It was sort of semi-watchable.
I think it was an HBO doco.
Something like that.
But anyway, that's our 5.
Yep.
What's number 4? I think this one. Can I just say, this is number 4 because we're talking about the top 5, but this is your personal favorite.
This is
your favorite. But you have talked about this at pubs, over beers, over wines, more than any other breakup ever.
This is the most predictable breakup in the history of the universe. Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness. You would have to have been born yesterday or live under a rock or not understand he's going for you. And this was always coming.
Yeah.
This was always
happening. There've been a lot of rumors.
We didn't know the capacity it was going to happen, and we didn't know how it was going to unfold, but it unfolded. I still laugh at some of the headlines about, shocked. Do you know what? I'll tell you right now. You can't be going around pretending that it is the absolute perfect couple and then have it crash so spectacularly. This isn't just a breakup. This isn't you know what we've done? There is jabs and jobs. Like 2 people you didn't think would well, I don't really know much about Deborah Finesse, but 2 people that Australia didn't think were capable of having a go at each other or snide comments and that's all we've had.
Yeah.
The celebratory posts, all of this sort of stuff. So, look, I actually just thought of another Aussie one too, but I can't do it. It's like a...
Honourable mention?
Yeah.
Come on, you can say it.
Carl.
Oh.
Carl Stefanovic's one. And then that was an honourable mention. And I love Carl. That was just... It's just that was like, you know what? It happened and we got through it as a nation.
Yeah.
But I think that this was more, we saw that we didn't see that one coming. This is Australia's breakup. Every few years, Australia has a breakup, and this was it. And there was people that actually devastated. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, this was always happening.
Yeah. Oh, I think you could argue that.
Do the maths.
They were living apart for
exactly
years.
I don't know that sort of detail.
Well, I made that up, but I felt like it was years. I felt like there was rumors that like they're not in the same house, and all that kind of stuff. So you think that. Number 3 is an interesting one. Look, Brad Pitt and multiple is how I would describe this one. So we all know of like I think he went from like Jennifer Aniston to Angelina Jolie, maybe back to Jennifer Aniston. I can't remember the order, but I remember the Jennifer Aniston breakup was particularly bad because I think he was already there may have been a bit of crossover with Angelina, but then the Angelina one was
messy,
so messy. I'm looking at this here, 8-year legal battle to settle the divorce, which is only settled December of last year.
Speaking of legal battle, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard unlucky to miss this list.
Yeah, that's probably a bit of oversight from us.
Foot forward,
I think if we had it,
I think
if you had it your way, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 would have been Hugh and Deborah Lee just filling. You would have had 5 different facts about that breakup. But is it Deborah Lee Finesse or Deborah Lee Finesse?
As in,
is her name? Was it Deborah Lee or Deborah Lee Finesse? Oh, so it's not Deborah Lee.
I don't know. I can't even tell if it's hyphenated or not.
Do you want to look that up?
Geez, Debbie Lee is a real 80s Aussie name, isn't it?
Deborah Lee would have been, or does she go by a middle name?
Debbie Lee would have been, there was a huge amount of something Lee's getting around in Australia. Like Deborah Lee, Sophie Lee.
Come on, give it to me. Well, anyway, let me keep talking while you do that. I'll look.
Oh, it's Deborah Lee who's her name. It's the hyphen Deborah Lee.
That would have made more sense than Lee Finesse. Anyway, Jennifer Aniston, Angelina Jolie for Brad Pitt, but also if you look at some of the other ones, Gwyneth Paltrow, Juliette Lewis, Christina Applegate, and he's also got a new relationship going at the moment who I'm not sure who it's with. But anyway, Brad Pitt has a tendency to blow them up, and he blew them up. I thought the Jennifer Aniston one would have been the worst in his catalogue, but now Angelina Jolie has probably topped that. So congrats to Brad for getting top 3 into this list.
There you go. Number 2, because they did it twice. I love this. So the reason I love this, we're not sickos. I love this because this is one that happened where my wife actually goes, she goes, that's a real shame. I really thought they were going to stay together forever and they'd found each other. And I'm looking at her on the couch going, fucking serious? What? Are you serious? She's like, yeah, like, no, you can tell.
I think a lot of people thought that they,
Are we, come on. Anyway, so,
yep.
Ben Affleck and J-Lo.
Yes.
Because they got engaged.
Yes.
They broke up.
Yep.
They got back together. They got engaged and married and then broke up again. So they've done it twice.
Yep.
So they've gone, we'll have a crack first time. Didn't quite get there.
First one was engagement, no marriage, breakup. Second one was engagement, marriage,
divorce.
Divorce, yep. So twice engaged, once, two-time engagement, once marriage. And kids together or kids with... I know they've had kids with separate people.
I think it's kids separate.
Okay. I could have actually looked that up before we went on air, but I think it's, probably that.
But I couldn't believe that there was so many people telling, I think it's going to last.
Yeah.
Based on what? Can I tell you Ben Affleck's and Matt Damon, some of their characters they play on some of those Kevin Smith movies as their like embellished character of themselves are very funny. And on the movie, I think it was Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, whatever. They're filming Good Will Hunting 2, and Ben Affleck's on it as like a really embarrassing thing about he gets in trouble for having hooks in his trailer and all that. And it's a really embarrassing. And I'm like, how much truth is to this?
Yeah, interesting.
Anyway, but Benny Affleck, J-Lo, well done. Number 2 on the list, big for you. Number 1, well, there's only one.
Number 1's going to cause it. I reckon.
Well, no, number 1 is.
We might have some.
And it's not one. It's
contact.
just all of them. It is.
Yeah, we might have some contact.
It is absolutely. Would you say...
We've got to clip this one up for the engagements, but there's going to be some contact on this one.
The best at breakups.
Yeah.
The number 1 breakup.
It's made a career out of it.
Made a career and would not be able to do what they do without breakups.
Yeah.
It's one person.
It's Taylor Swift and everyone. I think it's double figures if you look at the list.
And the songs?
Well, the songs are definitely. I mean, the songs are in triple figures. I don't know whether she's done like an album about one, or I don't understand how. I don't understand the breakdown.
That,
you know,
the thing is that
like, is there an average song count per breakup? I don't know, but there's been a lot.
Every breakup would have a song, though, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah. And then you look at Travis Kelce now. Like
is that the longest relationship?
No. She's had like proper relationships. There's been longer ones.
Haven't they been together for like 2 years? She's not that old. Like 2 years is a long time at her age.
She's 35.
Is she 35?
So that 1989 album, I believe that's her birth year.
Well, she might be 36, Simon.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We don't know. When do you know her birthday?
No, I don't. I just know that it's just. I just know of that album, and that's my birth year. So I assumed that that she was.
Got the same
she
age.
was my
Maybe
age.
you're next.
Could be.
No, you won't be. You're taken.
Yes.
And that's the only reason. When did her and Travis break up? Is that just when
so I gave it 6 months when it started, but they've obviously gone past that. So I'm not the right person. All I know is that they will break up at some point. There's no way. They're Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee. They're not lasting forever.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah, that has to be, I think, the number one.
That is number one. Totally.
And I'm sure that there would be people that are way more knowledgeable about this than us that could say, yeah, but this breakup for Taylor was worse than that one.
We're going, this is mass market breakups. Like this had to be in the mainstream news. This is not on the entertainment channel. It's not one of these, fun news reporters that comes on at some point in their morning news and goes, hey, I'm live from Hollywood in front of a green screen, even though I'm next to you in the studio and I've got this.
Yeah.
None of that shit. Let me ask you a question. Is there any that you think will make it? Is there any celebrity couples you look at and you go, they'll make it?
I mean, there'd be heaps, wouldn't there? Like it's in like.
Is there anyone you're rooting for? Anyone you're cheering for and you just hope that
I don't even know who's. Oh, God, I haven't even thought. That's a good question. I haven't even really thought about it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I am. They just got married. They seem really cute. They seem really in love.
Josh Allen and
Haley Steinfeld. Or maybe she's taking his name. I don't know now. But they seem like a really good couple. And Josh Allen just seems like the best bloke, by the way. Unbelievable player. Unbelievable athlete. She seems like a legend as well. They genuinely, like, they seem like, oh no, we're actually celebrities, but we're not really celebrities. Like, we actually love each other. We're not doing this for an endorsement, or like, this is actually proper.
There you go.
So good luck to them. That's who I'm rooting for.
Very good.
Now, we've got to move on to a pondering. And Pato's been benched again 2 weeks in a row. He's not going to be happy. This segment is called Pato's Ponderings. It's just at the moment pondering. Because Marcus, who works on AFL Today, works in news with us, has...
Marcus received a message this week to lawyer up, I believe, from Pato's
Yes,
Ponderings.
Pato did say that from the Pato's _spondering account. He can't even, extraordinary. But
couldn't even get
there. It's like Pato Pato _spondering or something like that.
He put the S after the underscore and it should have been before. That's where he's at.
Incredible. But
right, go.
So Marcus had a great one last week that got everyone thinking about the supermarket.
I went.
Oh, you did?
I went to the supermarket. Oh my God, it's so much more than we thought.
Okay.
So
how do you not, when I asked you how your week was, how does this not?
So I'll give you an idea.
Have you not told me this?
There's hundreds of packets of wraps.
Oh, I think
so there would be
shit. Yeah.
Something like there'd be over 2,000 wraps. How many wraps could you eat in a day? Plus, you got to put stuff in them.
Well, how much would you have at home if you made homemade like burritos or tacos or whatever?
So if over a whole day, let's say
you cook like a wok's full or a fucking pan's full of.
Yeah, but the thing is that you don't cook.
You know what I mean.
This guy. Anyway, so just put some spring onions in the burrito, shall we, Simon?
Yeah.
Anyway,
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But but you could go light and make like thin quesadillas and eat them. But like,
how many wraps are you going through? Though?
You might go through half a dozen in a day if you're really hungry and you got the ingredients.
That's a lot. Yeah. I know.
Mate, it's going to take you at least a year just to get through the wraps.
Well, if you cooked enough for lunch and dinner, say, right, you might get through like 8.
Yeah, but my point is that was just wraps. Then and I looked at the bread.
You ever eaten a
all
wrap
different
by
types.
itself, like a
no,
like a psychotic murderer?
No, what I have done though is I have made a really, really quick snack of a pure cheese quesadilla.
Yeah.
So you put just cheese in one side of the wrap and fold it. So it's 2 ingredients.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
And I felt a little like I was like, this is missing a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
did you go through the frozen?
I don't think you get through it.
Did you go through the frozen?
Yeah, I'm changing my. I don't think you get through it in a normal life.
Okay.
It's decades upon decades.
Okay.
is so much food. The other thing is you don't even think about like
Also, you eat
there's
less.
thousands of muesli bars / snacks. The lollies and the chocolates themselves, it would just be impossible to get through. Like there's so much. Then the drinks.
Yeah.
And like the rest of it, and then you go down, shit, there's a biscuit aisle. And
Yep.
The frozen ones are the ones I think are the easiest because a lot of them are whole meals.
Yeah.
Or veggies and that. You can go frozen.
You can just throw the veggies in.
The frozen, the fresh and fresh fruit and veg, it's okay. But mate, I'm like, every section, I'm like, that's a year or two, that's a year or two, that's a year or two, that's a year or two. And then I'm just going through the aisles. I'm telling you now, I think you don't get through it in a normal 80-year life.
Well, that pondering was so good from Marcus that we're still talking about it, and that is why we've got him back again. But he's got one this week, which is a bit of a doozy that we got sent through in our WhatsApp, and this is it. I'm very, very, very intrigued for your answer here because I actually don't know what mine is. But what part of the human body do you think cannibals find to be the most delicious? It's got to be a flesh part?
Yeah.
Or is it? It's the most delicious. It's not the most like, you know what I mean? Like it could be that a bony part is actually the most delicious, but you would normally your mind normally goes to a fleshy part.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Would it be okay? I'm trying to think about this. Right.
Fucking hell.
So. Where's the eye fillet on a cow? Basically, as I'm trying to think, where's the scotch? And
that's a good. Let me look. So that up.
It's not. It won't be your ass. It will not be the rump.
Yep.
It won't be the rump because, like, the rump is nowhere near the best.
It's the hind section.
But it is section. Around then. I'm thinking, and this is what I was thinking.
Yeah, actually.
I'm thinking it's under here.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's like
hammies.
It's like your hammies where there is a little bit of flesh, but there's also muscle. So it's a mix.
Yep.
I think it's there. And the other one is under here.
Yeah.
It's quite tender.
Explain where you...
Sorry. That's for the YouTubers. Under your arm.
Yeah.
Just that bit under your arm.
So I would have said where you said.
Under arm or under leg. I think they're the two areas. Now, cows don't have arms, so we don't know what the equivalent would be there. But I think it's one of those.
The sirloin? Sort of.
Do we think the under the arm would be? I like a sirloin.
Yeah, I do too. No, I agree with that. I agree with the hammy. Your first answer, where the sort of kind of where the eye fillet is. I think it makes a lot of sense.
That's an incredible question by Marcus.
It is. It is real.
I don't think if I was on an island, I just don't think I could.
It's nothing to do with your face.
I don't think I could do it.
It wouldn't. Yeah, I couldn't. What do you mean?
Beef cheek. Human cheeks.
What do you mean? You don't think you do it? Of course you couldn't do it.
No, but I don't. People have done this. Like survived. Like it's the only way they survived. There was a movie about it called Alive with all the. I just don't. I don't have the stomach to be able to do it.
Well, it's a kill or be killed though. What if that person?
No. I definitely wouldn't be killing somebody. They would have to have died. There is no way. I do not have that.
What if they were trying to kill you? You managed to like fight them off. Get them on self-defense. They die.
Okay, that's a different story. Okay. Let's just take it from the dead.
No one's
part.
eating them alive.
No. I'm not saying that.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, fucking hell.
No. I'm saying it's once, as in like I'm not going to kill them to eat them, but it's self-defense stuff. They're dead. They die of natural causes. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah,
I just don't. The other thing is, like,
wow, we've gone into some areas today.
Surely you could catch fish, man.
What do you say? What do you mean?
Like, because you're going to be stranded on an island, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're stranded on land, you both just keep walking until you get somewhere.
Can we just say, just for the listeners, Olivia, our normal producer, is sick, and we've got Brody in here filling in. And
he would be thinking.
He would be thinking, what the fuck have I walked into?
Yeah. What is this?
Yeah.
Sorry, Brody. We've brought some good stuff, and then
he'll be resigning.
Well, he will be filming AFL Today with Marcus later in the week, so he's got to deal with the flip side of this. So he's just sandwiched more angles.
AFL Today should just turn into a massive pondering.
100%. So for me, hammy or underarm.
Okay, I like it.
Happy to have one for entree, one for main.
Thankfully for Brody and the listeners, we've only got one segment to go. And it is what I would describe as the highly successful betting segment after last week. Can I just say, dogs to cover into Aaron Norton, the antivirus 3+, Cha-ching. And then I also gave a bonus. I said the GWS Giants to cover the line against the Lions. Not only did they do that, Michael, but they won. So that's 100% strike rate. And yours was, you gave it every show with yours. You had, the only thing that got you was 340 plus, which looked good leading into the third quarter, and they were up by 28 points. And then they had a
I reckon I was a bit stiff there,
and
obviously.
let North back into it.
But that's all right. I can stomach that.
I've got two tips.
Give us
I hope to open the batting. First one comes on Thursday night, so it's close. So yay for everyone. But take it now because I reckon it'll start to get a little bit less. But the total points line is 153.5. I think you take the unders given that there is going to be torrential rain. I don't know what the rain looks like today over in Perth, but it's definitely torrential rain tomorrow. I think they're predicting like 20 or 30 mils, and there's more rain on Thursday when the game is on. I feel like the field itself is going to be chopped up. And the other point I didn't make is it's Fremantle Essendon. I just think this could be a Fremantle wins 80 to 40 type vibe, 80 to 57, something like that. I reckon Essendon will be a little bit more competitive and they'll hang around after what happened last week. Similar to what they did against the Lions in Brisbane on a Thursday night when they were undermanned. Freo are winning games, but they're probably barely going. I don't think they completely destroy them. So I reckon playing in that under 153.5 is a good bet because it could come down to like 151, 150-ish beforehand.
Yeah.
I'd still probably play in that space, to be honest, but you may as well take it now. My last one comes on Sunday. It's just a pure head-to-head. I think it's value. You mentioned the game that I'm talking about here, the
Expansion Cup.
The Expansion Cup. I'm taking the Suns at $2.14, and the reason why I'm taking them is the Giants don't win at home at the moment. No. The Giants lose a bad game and then they go and win a really good game and then they come back home and they lose a game that they probably should win. I think $2.14. I think this should be pick'em. I think this should be $1.90 each at two. I know the Suns are coming off a bye, but they've been really good, the Suns this year. I think they deserve plenty of credit. And I reckon this is a game where the Giants are still getting players back. They're still a little bit undermanned. I assume Toby Green comes back into the team. They're getting bodies back, but I reckon the Suns at 2.14 are a bet. So they're my two picks.
Very good. All right, I'm going to say that first game, the Freo-Essendon game, Essendon have playing 3 games in like 11 days. So they're going to be absolutely cooked. And there's a lot of travel there. Freo
and a lot of young new players. Yep.
So I like in that game Freo at the line into the total unders, which is rare.
What's the line?
So the line it's nearly 30 points now. It's 29.5, but I just think that I honestly think.
So I was thinking the wet weather might bring him back a little bit.
I actually think that it's going to be like you said. I reckon it could be something like 70 to 30.
Yeah, okay.
Or 80 to 40.
Yeah,
I think that they're gonna cover. That was my bet though. I've been trying to find things at bigger prices.
Yes.
I'm going to Sunday. I'm having one bet. Now the market on the exact price isn't out yet. The line in the Western Bulldogs Richmond game is 48.5. The Western Bulldogs are a little bit possibly of a flat tracker, but I think that they're more than that. But we know that they beat up on the teams they're meant to. We know that they do that. There's absolutely no doubt. They get the game at Marvel.
Yep.
I know the Tigs beat Gold Coast there, but that hasn't been a happy hunting ground for them.
Agreed.
So the roof will be on, so you don't even need to look at the forecast. They're $1.05. You're not touching that.
Yep.
The line's 48.5. Not interested. Richmond are now a team that they got pumped. They're coming off a bye as well.
Yeah.
And the teams off the bye, especially young team, they don't.
Well, I just said that the Suns will win off the bye. But
but I know it's fine. And the other thing is that's something for a second off the bye is better than off the bye. Richmond are going to lose a game this season, given what they're dealing with and their list and all of that. They're going to lose a game by 100 points. I think this is the game.
Yep.
This lines up for me.
Something against the Saints and maybe 70 something against Port.
I think you will be able to get a big price for them to lose by 80. I'll just go 80. Find a super margin of 80 points. Go to 100. But the fact is the line is 48.5. So you're going to get a good price for them big win. I'm backing them. I will be backing the Dogs at 60, 80, and 100.
Yeah,
I'm not even looking at the line. It's not going to be anywhere near under 10 goals.
Yeah,
I'm so and I'm matching, as you know. I've been big on the Tigs.
Take it now because it could get up over the 50s.
The mid. I'll be taking whatever lines you can get, but the minute it's Sunday, so it's a little bit harder. The minute the margin markets come out on this game, get on. But I'm big on the Dogs to win this by 80 and 100.
Love that. That's good.
Yeah.
Found some value. Well, look, Wally, Brody's happy that this is over.
He would be.
He's
He needs a
relaxing.
coffee, I can
He
tell.
does, definitely. It's pretty early in the morning, so he does need one. We'll just see what happens with the footy review that we recorded online yesterday and see whether that gets live. But if it doesn't, we'll obviously be back next week. But look, Wally, you've been great. I'll continue my knitting journey over the course of the next week. And go Saints.
Go Hawks.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.